Hello and welcome once again to one of Mr. Beck's miniature lessons, where I have mini lessons that are smaller than usual. I don't know. Anyways, if you'll remember last time we were talking about figurative language and we got to talk about metaphors and similes and all of the differences, right? Well, I want to continue on with our figurative language unit and tell you a little bit more about some of the ways that you can add some flair to your writing. So just to review, figurative language is whenever you use words, figuratively, which means that you are using words beyond their literal meaning. Remember last time I was saying if you go out and you hit the road, if you're saying that literally, you are literally going outside and you are punching the pavement with your fist. It doesn't make any sense, but whenever you begin to think of things figuratively, that makes sense that you are saying that in the intention of saying, well, let's go on, let's get going, let's get started, let's go on the journey, get in the car and go. So this time, we're going to be scratching the surface once again with some of the four basic types of figurative language, the ones that you should probably already be a little bit familiar with, and who knows, maybe we'll have enough time for a bonus. So this time, instead of metaphor and simile, we'll be talking about personification and hyperbole. So, personification gives human characteristics to inanimate objects, animals, or ideas, and this can really affect the way that the reader imagines things. Personification is often used in poetry, fiction, children's rhymes. In fact, you can actually use personification in all sorts of movies. You can use personification in television shows. We love personifying things, and I guess it's just one of the kind of like natures of it's just one of the things about human nature is we just love to see ourselves in like whatever we're working with or whatever we're doing, right? And so like we will personify those things or create personhood or generate a personhood in things that actually don't have any personhood. For example, oranges are not people, right? And I don't do I have to like announce that in any particular way that is like super shocking? Like oranges aren't people, and yet here we have an example of the annoying orange that has been personified, right? You have here Lightning McQueen, and he is a car that has been personified, even to the point to where it's like he has emotions and feelings and can talk, right? One of the most common ones that I can think of just across multiple types of literature is the personification of, for example, death. Death itself is not a person. Death itself does not have any personhood. It is more like this conceptual thing, right? And yet we love to, especially around the time of year of Halloween, we love to like dress up in flowy robes, grab a scythe and a skull mask and say, I am the Grim Reaper, right? And all of that is just examples of personification. The stars dancing in the sky. Can stars literally dance? No. The sun peeking over the trees. Can the sun literally peek? Does it have eyes for which that it can peek over trees? No. Can the wind whistle? Can the wind whistle through the meadow? No. The wind cannot literally whistle. It doesn't have lips. And so all of those are just examples of personification. Here are some more examples. Opportunity can knock at the door. The sun can greet you in the morning. The sky is full of dancing stars. The vines wove their delicate fingers. The vines don't have fingers. Vines have leaves. But whenever you're personifying something and using figurative language, you can say these things. The sun played hide and seek with the clouds, right? All of those, personification, figurative language. Hyperbole is an outrageous exaggeration that emphasizes a point. So it tends towards the ridiculous, even to the point to where it's like, it's so ridiculous it can be funny, right? And hyperbole adds color and depth to color and depth to a character. Okay, so if you've ever had a friend that has said, "Oh my God, I'm so tired, I could sleep for 1,000,000 hours. I'm so tired. I'm going to go to sleep, and I'm going to sleep for a week." And if you like sat there and you thought about it for a second, if you were going to take that literally, and you went, "Wait a second, 1,000,000 hours? That's 141 calendar years." You'd be dead. Like if you slept for a week, that's a coma. Are you okay? Are you healthy? Is everything going to be all right? No, it's not like that. It's an outrageous exaggeration, right? That's the whole point of a hyperbole. Is it's an exaggeration to the point to where it sounds ridiculous, okay? Like if I was to sit there and if I was to say, "Oh my gosh, this is the best burger in the entire universe," Have I gone through the entire universe and compared with like a matching rubric like which burger is the best? No, I'm just telling you that the burger is really good. And we have any number of different people that are like that. They are prone to exaggeration, right? They are prone to exaggerate things for the sake of the story or for the sake of getting their point across, right? Like, and typically I've noticed that, like you kind of fall into one of two categories. Either you are the type that you're like, this burger is good. That's the literal meaning, and I can take that literally, right? But if and that friend is like, okay, well, if that friend says it's a good burger, it must be a good burger. And then you have the other friend that goes, oh my gosh, this is the greatest burger in the entire universe, right? And if you don't know which of those friends it is, it's probably you, okay? I mean, with me and my friends, it's definitely me. Like, I'm definitely prone to exaggeration and hyperbole, just because, like, I don't know, it's spicy. It's the spice of life. I love figurative language. So here's some more examples of hyperbole. You snore louder than a freight train. Today has been the longest month I've had in a long time. Like, can you put a month into a single day, literally? No. She's so dumb, she thinks Taco Bell is a Mexican phone company. I had to walk 15 miles to school in the snow, uphill in bare feet. I was so tired you could have knocked me over with a feather. Could you literally knock someone over with a feather? No. They're putting their point across, right? So that's hyperbole, and that is personification. But, well, you know what? Why don't I go ahead and do this? I'm going to go ahead and tell you about the bonus. Okay, so there's this thing called lidity, okay? So just how hyperbole is an outrageous exaggeration, lidity is kind of the opposite. It's an outrageous understatement. It's whenever you're understating something, okay? So if you're overstating something to the ridiculous, that is hyperbole. If you're understating something, that is lidity. So another way of saying it is that lidities are a positive statement that is made by negating the opposite. And okay, so I know that sounds like something weird, but think of the phrase not bad. That's a lidity, right? If someone says, hey man, how's the burger? And you say, oh, it's not bad at all. What you're actually saying is you're saying something positive about the burger by negating the negative, right? It is not a bad burger. That's actually an understatement of saying that it's pretty good, or even better than that, right? So here are some examples of negating the negative or using a lidity. If someone says, hey, can I trust you to do this? And you say, you won't regret it. You're not actually saying anything about regret. You're actually saying you're going to be really happy with the results, right? If someone was to say, that Mr. Beck, he's no Einstein. Well, Einstein is this really smart physicist, right? So, like, you would be saying that it's like, well, Mr. Beck, he's not, like, either he's kind of a dum-dum, or, like, he's at least not very good at physics, I can tell you that much. Yes, that is a fact, though. And so, if you were to say, like, not the sharpest tool in the shed, if you were to say not the sharpest tool in the shed, or I can't say I'm sad about the outcome, what you're saying is that, like, if you say I can't say I'm sad about the outcome, what you're saying is I'm happy about the outcome, right? So is this significant in any way? Are you going to be using this at any point in your life? Yes, you use lidities all of the time. And not only that, but don't tell your senior English teachers that I'm telling you this, but you end up learning about lidities in senior English whenever you read Beowulf. And I even have an example of one right here. I'm going to read this excerpt from Beowulf, and you tell me if you can find the lidity, right? By the wall then went he, his weapon raised high by its hilt, the Hyglac Thane angry and eager. That edge was not useless to the warrior now. So do you see any point here in this little example from Beowulf? Do you see anything that is saying something positive by negating the negative? Well, it's right there. That edge was not useless, right? Which is to say that the edge was actually quite useful, right? That edge was a good edge. It was a good blade. He was making use of it now. He was glad he had his sword, right? And so that is a lidity from Beowulf. Don't tell your senior English teachers that I'm giving you all the answers now as a sophomore, okay? But yeah, that is a lidity. So now, hey, not only do you know about similes and metaphors, not only do you know about personification and hyperbole, but you also know about lidity. Well, go out and use it. Go out and use it. Add it to your writing. Add it to your everyday speech, right? And remember, the next time that you say not bad, you're using a lidity. Go out into the world and be great, my brilliant students, because you make the world brighter.